A very good morning everyone. Today I am here to present my lecture on the topic presentation strategies and techniques. This is from the subject technical communication. Subject code is KS301/401. Dear, I am Dr. Mohit Kumar Tiwari, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Applied Science and Humanities in AKGEC Engineering College. As I told that today I am here to present a lecture on the given topic, presentation strategies and techniques, from the subject technical communication. Now, before I move that what is presentation strategies and techniques, let me discuss first about the word presentation. As we all know that the word presentation is derived from the verb present. Presentation doesn't mean that at certain times or at certain periods we should be presentable. We are every time noticed at times by our communication, by our attire, by our body language. So there are so many things which continue to reflect our presentation. Let's see. As for the content, we see introduction, first difference between presentation and lecture, defining purpose, analyzing audience and locale, guidelines for analyzing the audience, importance of locale, types of presentation, tips for oral presentation, organizing the content, preparing an outline of the presentation, use of visual aids, nuances of delivery, non-verbal elements, conclusion. Next. Now, the word presentation, as I told, is derived from the verb present. A presentation is a live mode of sharing information for a selected audience. Live mode of sharing information for a selected audience. It is also a form of oral communication in which a person shares factual information with a particular audience. I repeat once again, dear, it is a form of oral communication in which a person shares information with a particular audience. Means during presentation we share our information with a particular audience. Presenter helps the presenter. Presentation helps the presenter in two ways. Firstly, it helps in communicating your information clearly. Secondly, it creates a very good impression about you as a speaker. If you are successful during your presentation, certainly mark it. It creates a very good impression about you as a I already said that. Secondly, it creates a very good impression about you as a speaker if you are able to present yourself successfully and effectively. Presentation means that one should understand what you are conveying or what you are trying to convey. Once your message, what really actually you want to convey, if it is that being conveyed to the audience, then we can say that your presentation is successful. Next, difference between presentation and lecture. We see, let me tell that a presentation is not a lecture. A lecture has a well-defined educational objective. So we cannot say that presentation is a lecture. Okay. Here, what happened? Students are encouraged to raise question and are also asked to answer question put by the teacher. Where? Under the lecture part. Thus, a classroom lecture is a two-way communication. Therefore, we say that a classroom lecture is a two-way communication process, while presentation is a one-way communication initially. Why? Another significant distinguishing feature of presentation is that the focus is on persuading the listeners to buy the ideas that are shared. That is why it is said that it is one-way communication initially. A teacher, on the other hand, is basically interested in imparting information as correctly as possible, and focus is on the understanding of the ideas by the student. Under the lecture part, the teacher is focused towards the student. Means in between the teacher can ask the student, put up the question to check whether the student is physically, mentally present in the class or not, whether he or she is understanding it or not, and student can also put the question if he is in any kind of doubt or confusion. So that is why it is said that the lecture is a two-way communication. Now, for presentation, some purpose should be there, that why you are presenting. Purpose is required in every field, in every area, in every topic. So, let's see. Following are the fundamentals of the presentation which will help someone to become an effective presenter. Now, first, defining purpose. You should define your purpose first. Purpose intends to do a hard work to achieve a target. Purpose, I repeat, intends to do a hard work to achieve a target. The purpose of presentation not only decide the content and style but also affects the audience. So, therefore, it becomes very important for all of us to be very well clear and well defined about purpose. Defining purpose, how? Some of the important features of the purpose are knowledge of the project. You should have the knowledge of your project, of your assignment, of your topic. You should have your determination power, your willpower. You should be like a hard working person. You should have caliber to face the negative situation also, because at times during your presentation some of the negative situations also come, like light is coming, light is not coming, temperature is too hot or too cold, or from the audience sides some like facial expression which showing you that they are not interested. So, to handle those negative situations is also very necessary. Avoid selfish motive. If you have any selfish motive, please avoid that during your presentation. So, no selfish motive should be there. Interested for good results. You should always be interested for the good results. Next, analyzing audience and locale. It is very important. It is very, very important for any of the political leader, for any of the presenter, anywhere, wherever he or she is presenting. Analyzing the audience is literally very, very important. Audience and locale, I mean. Now, analyzing audience and locale. Before you make presentation, know the group you are going to address, where you are going to present. If possible, get it know. Get an idea of the number, nature, level of knowledge and attitude of those people who are going to receive your message. If in advance you can have an idea about those persons to whom you are going to deliver your lecture or presentation, it's good for everyone, but very good for you as a presenter. All audiences have one thing in common, that they are at the receiving end of your communication. One thing common is there with the audience part, that they are at the receiving end. They are receiving from you, they are gaining from you something. So, you should be very, very alert while forwarding your information towards the audience, that what you are saying. And understanding about the need of your audience will help you to focus your presentation on those issues that would be of interest to your listeners. That would be of interest to your listener. So, understanding about the needs of your audience will help you to focus your presentation on those issues that would be of interest to your listeners. Next, we see the most important thing is that never consider your audience to be a hostile group. Never and never. They may oppose to your ideas, but they are not your enemies. Means they may not agree with your views or thoughts or feeling or sentiments or emotion whatsoever you are communicating, but they are not your enemies. So, never consider your audience to a hostile group. Always look for some smiling faces among the listeners. Try to look for the positive persons, or you should also try to be positive. Now, guidelines for analyzing the audience. How to analyze? First, who is your audience? Why they are attending your presentation? What is their background and their level of knowledge? What are their interests, likes and dislikes? How many persons will be there? Are they familiar with the topic? Age range, gender distribution. So, these guidelines are very important for the presentation part. If you are aware with these things, no doubt that your presentation will be good. no doubt. So, market, locale. Beside an understanding of the audience, another important factor which may be conduce to proper understanding of the message is the locale, physical environment, means physical environment where you are going to present your presentation. So, you should be aware about the physical environment also, like the speaker should know about the place of presentation, whether a large auditorium or a conference hall, a podium or a table provided, seating arrangement, room temperature and lighting, availability of audio visual aids. So, these all are very important point to be aware before you go for any type of presentation. So, there are basically two types of presentation, individual presentation and group presentation. Under the topic types of presentation, we have two types of individual and group. When we present individually, whole sole responsibility is individual one only. If the presentation is good, you are responsible, it's good. If bad, then also you are responsible. Only you are going. While in group, if the presentation is group, the entire group is good. If the presentation goes wrong, entire group is responsible for that. This is what the difference between the individual presentation and the group presentation. Then we have some tips for oral presentation. Here we have some tips like organize your thoughts, start with an outline and develop good transition between sections. Have a strong opening. Define terms early. Finish with a bang. Design PowerPoint slides to introduce important information. Time yourself. Create effective notes for yourself. Practice before you go for any sort of presentation. Practice and practice. It is very necessary for everyone. If you have the knowledge, then also. If you don't have the knowledge, then also. Practice is required by everyone before any sort of presentation at the official stage. So, once you are at the official stage, you are going to present yourself, should have a strong opening. You are going to begin with some of the anecdote or short story relating to that topic, field or domain only. Begin with that. You can entertain, but entertainment here means that you are going to entertain regarding which has a relevance to that topic only on which you are going to deliver your presentation. PowerPoint slides, obviously they should be good. Time yourself. If you are allotted 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it should be 20 minutes. Try it. It can be 18 minutes also, or 22 or 25 minutes also, but try to be in time. So, time yourself. Create effective notes. Always have your notes for your support. Wherever you forget, you can take the help from the notes and you can again start your presentation. Organizing the contents. How to organize? It is well known to everyone, like introduction, body and conclusion. So, for presentation also, introduction, body and conclusion is required. In introduction, what happened? This section of the presentation talks about the relevance of the topic. You describe the importance of the topic. Definition, you try to define the topic, or you start with some quotations, some anecdotes, some short story which is required for a good presentation, which leads the audience to understand the importance of the topic. So, that is why this is important. What? Suitable quote, anecdote or brief story to you can see here to understand the importance of the topic. Now, the body part. In the body part, we see the body of the presentation contains the main or central idea, and the following are different way to organize the body of the presentation. These are the different ways. We see chronological way, categorical, cause and effect, problem solution, contrast and comparison. Under body part, the first is chronological. Chronological means which leads to the ideas 1 to another. One idea after another idea. Means you are going to begin in an ascending way, that is called chronological way, and categorical way, cause and effect, problem solution, and contrast and comparison. These all 5 plays a very significant role in the body part. How much categorical you are, what are the causes and the effect, how to solve the problem, whether you are providing the solution of the problem or not, whether you are able to clear out the doubts of the reader or the listener or not. So, problem solution is required. Contrast and comparison, wherever it is required, have contrast and comparison also. Now, preparing an outline of the presentation. Preparing an outline is a mechanical framework in which the content of the presentation arranged in order to deliver. In which the contents of the presentation arranged in order to deliver. An outline serves as a guide to show the speaker the right part for the presentation. Knowing the outlined sequence like introducing, body and content well in advance gives the speaker the confidence to control his or her speech and anxiety. His or her speech and anxiety. So, knowing the outlined sequence like introducing, body and content well in advance gives the speaker the confidence to control his or her speech and anxiety. So, very important. Now, when you are giving your presentation, delivering your speech, some visual aids are also required. Not in abundance, as much as it is required, that much only. Not too many visuals. That will lead or that will turn the audience into monotony if excess will be there. So, visual aids may be used to as notes to emphasize and clarify the points of the topic. It also increases the audience's interest in the presentation. In between, it increases the interest in the presentation. So, in order to understand abstract ideas, visual aids become an important medium. So, this is more important. In order to understand abstract ideas, visual aids become an important medium. It includes use of charts, pictures, PowerPoint presentation, etc. Now, some nuances of delivery during your presentation. There are some nuances of delivery also, like impromptu. It is an informal style of presentation. It is used for informal speech or at a familiar group. It is generally used at a non-business gathering. It is very natural in tone, so gives no stress to speaker and listener understand it easily. And listener understand it easily. Memorization. This method of presentation is very difficult for most of us. In this method, entire speech is memorized. This type of delivery stands between extemporaneous and manuscript presentation. Extemporaneous and manuscript presentation. Next we see there are some non-verbal elements. Excuse me. Our appearance, facial expression, eye contact, posture, gesture and space we share with our audience allow all shows our interest, enthusiasm, dynamism, intention and confidence to our audience. So, very important as per the non-verbal elements, these points are very important like we have here. Okay. Now, tips to use body language effectively during your presentation. There are certain tips for that. Wear a formal dress and use simple accessories. Wear a formal dress. This should be formal and try to use simple accessories. Use facial expressions to exhibit your enthusiasm and interest. So, you should be positive. Your expressions, your facial expressions should be natural. Do not show irritation or anger even when someone interrupts you. Even if in between someone is interrupting you, then also please do not show any sort of irritation. Be positive. Have a natural smile then also on your face. Next, make eye contact with all the sections of the audience to observe their reactions. Try to make an eye contact. Always try to have an eye contact with the audience. Well-timed gestures. Avoid monotonous gesture. Please avoid monotonous gesture. Avoid those gestures which brings monotony or boredom situations. Do not come very close to the audience. Always maintain a distance. Some distance should be there in between the audience and you. While using the blackboard, raise your voice and look at the audience in between. In between, you should try to raise your voice and look at the audience in between. Always have a look towards your audience in between. Try to concentrate on your ideas and your audience. Always try to concentrate and focus on your ideas and your audience. Next, if we conclude the presentation, the strategies and techniques on which there was a good discussion. So, under the conclusion part, a story has been taken from the Julius Caesar. When Julius Caesar was killed just because the mob was against the Julius Caesar, the public was against the Julius Caesar, and the public was with the favor of the Brutus. But Antonio at a time enters and delivers such an speech that he suddenly turns the mob against the Brutus, which was earlier against the Caesar. Now the mob is with the Caesar and got against the Brutus. So, good oratorship is required during the presentation part. So, we see good planning is the backbone of good presentation. Equally important or perhaps more important is the manner of delivery. Manner of delivery. Antonio, I told, Antonio after assassination of Julius Caesar, he delivered the funeral speech and won the mob by his oratory. This is what the role of the presentation or speech delivery. The mob that was earlier supporting Brutus and others suddenly turned against them just because of your speech and the way you are presenting. It is a course of power of a speech that will turn a dull topic into an interesting one, whereas poor delivery or bad presentation may spoil the entire presentation, howsoever significant it is. So, we should keep this in our mind. I repeat once again. It is a course of power of a speech that may turn a dull topic into an interesting. A dull topic can become an interesting topic if you are perfect in your speech, if your speech delivery is good, if your presentation is good, then you can even turn the dull topic into an interesting topic. One, whereas poor delivery or bad presentation may spoil the entire presentation, howsoever significant it is. So, here what we get the answer, even if the topic is very good, topic is very relevant, topic is very important, but if you are not able to speak well, present well, draft it well, where to use which word, where to avoid what word, where to speak officially, how to speak unofficially, which word to be delivered first, which word should come in between or at last. So many things are being noticed. Whether you are presenting yourself to the audience, they are male only or they are female only or they are male and female both, all these things are counted. Their age range, their gender, to whom you are communicating. If you keep all this in your mind, certainly your presentation will be a successful presentation and effective presentation. So here I end with my ideas. I think you must have enhanced your knowledge with this lecture. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you.